Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing great in this lovely evening. In our lovely evening, we will get started and kickstart a very debatable and controversial discussion about teaching, speaking to Iraqi learners and Arab learners, teaching them English, of course. And this is subject to lots of debate. بس بالبداية أحب أنوه على نقطة. هذه ورشة تدريب لمدرسي اللغة الإنجليزية، ورشة نقاش للمسائل اللي نحتاجها لتطوير مهارة اللغة الإنجليزية للمتدربين. فإذا أنت طالب بتخصص اللغة ممكن تستفيد من عندها. إذا أنت متعلم للغة الإنجليزية ممكن المواضيع اللي راح نناقشها هنا ما راح تكون ذات أهمية كبيرة لك. ممكن تطلع على المواضيع الأخرى بالفيديوهات الأخرى، لكن هذه الورشة تحديدا هي لمدرسي اللغة الإنجليزية، لأنه اليوم احنا مخصصين لهم فد ورشة. كوني أني وهم دائما عندنا هذا الصراع مع كيفية اختيار المادة. ندى قادر, thank you so much for joining and tuning in. في اختيار المادة الصحيحة للمتدربين لنقطة مهمة. المدرس أو مدرب اللغة الإنجليزية هو حلقة وصل تقاربية بين المادة اللي هي اللغة وبين الطالب. المدرب أو مدرس اللغة الإنجليزية هو حلقة وصل لتقريب المسافة بين اللغة وبين الطالب. هذا هو دور المدرس أو المدرب. عادة حاليا يسمونه mentor، مرات يسمونه facilitator، مرات يسمونه coach، مرات يسمونه potato، whatever. يعني they come up with different types of nomenclature and vocabulary to give and to entitle teachers. However, the teacher's role is very salient and outstanding, and they are struggling, especially at this critical time of the year, to deliver maximum amount of proficiency, accuracy, and fluency examples to students to help them learn English so much faster and so much better. Again, to rewind, the teacher's role is to approximate and to pull closer the distance between language, which is the object of study, and students or learners. I actually have an objection to use the word student or to be schooled with language, and that is coming from my principle that language should be learned, it should not be taught. Language should be felt, should be used, and should not be dictated and instructed. However, since we go with certain educational facilities and conditions, we have to abide by the rules. The point that I want to clearly mention here is very important. Whatever kind of activity that you want to deliver and you think up to your discretion is useful to students, use it, but try to ask yourself, where am I taking my students and my learners to? The major and more important part of becoming a successful English learner is actually, and this is for your surprise, your experience. No matter how much you read, it's that point when you enter a classroom and everything goes blank and you start from scratch and you think, well, I have this big group of students, it's really crowded, I only have less than an hour to deliver to maximum level with good amount of satisfaction by students and learners and even my supervisors. This is a kind of really critical context for lots of teachers. However, the point that I want to mention here, that sometimes things are not standard. Sometimes things are not ideal. So we deal with so many critical and challenging occasions where we have to equip ourselves with enough predisposition and preparedness, and that only comes from our experience. So the major asset for you as an English teacher is your experience. And the experience that I am talking about is the sum. Listen, your experience is the sum of all the struggles that you have in the classroom. Believe it or not. So the idea is that your experience is not coming from being spoiled by salary or getting the ideal kind of number of students, like 10 to 15 to teach per semester. That is not real. Teachers all over the world, I have met hundreds of them from all over the world, they still struggle. They have some depression. They have lots of things to do. Like when you're a candle and you enlighten people, you consume energy, you consume your health, and everyone is really preoccupied with so many busy things in their mind. So teachers are really struggling, and they're doing a great job. So teachers out there, thank you so much for the amount of struggle that you're doing to deliver optimally the kind of information that you have and knowledge to students, especially at this critical time of technology and COVID and all the struggles, the financial struggles and lack of enough salaries. And we know that you're not getting paid enough. Let's go back to square number one. Square number one, I'm talking about experience. Now, how is this experience manifesting in reality? When we come to talk about experience in teaching, it's only coming from the number of classes that you deliver, the number of lesson plans that you do, the kind of syllabi that you've come across, the kind of curricula that you worked with, the struggle that you had with other teachers to convince them that whatever you're thinking about and trying to deliver is better than what some other people suggest. You are the only one who know their students. You are the only one who know his or her students. So it is very important that you listen, but you filter whatever is said to you. Don't let anybody dictate what you have to do in the classroom, because you're the expert. You're the chef of the recipe of a successful lesson. So involving yourself in ESL and EFL context, whatever, it's all teaching. But the struggle that we have as EFL teachers is really outweighing the struggle that ESL teachers have, because we lack context. We try to simulate and to simulate context. So letting learners learn this language. There are 4 criteria that you need to emphasize when you're teaching. And this is according to 2 recommended books that I really, truly think are and should be your Bible to study and language teaching. This is number 1, which is Learning Teaching by Jim Scrivener. And these are introductory kind of books. They are not juicy with lesson plans. They're just providing you with theoretical background about your field and what you should do in order to become better and more successful. The second one, this is probably I have over presented to you. It's Teaching English as a Second or Foreign Language. They are available in Iraq, specifically in Mutanabbi. If you can go to Maktabat Iqra, you will have these books, and they are available. You can get in access to them. Again, going back to the 4 criteria on which your English should be done. Criteria number 1 is fluency. You need to focus on making your students fluent. Second criteria is accuracy. Third criteria is appropriacy. Appropriacy. The 4th criteria is authenticity. I love the last one because no matter what you do, it should be relevant to their experience. It should have some sort of connection to their background and where they're coming from. If they're studying in Iraq, present them something about Sinbad, about Aladdin, about the Arabian Nights. This is something that they will respond probably 10% better than if you present to them Charles Dickens or William Shakespeare or a poem from like 1,000 years ago. You know, so there's not that kind of relevance out there. So the assessment of selection of materials is subject to the validity of the materials, the practicality of presenting these materials to students, and the reliability of these materials when they are presented. Are they reliable? Are they valid? And are they practical? Now, going back to fluency, accuracy, authenticity, and appropriacy. These are major important criteria on which you should base your selection of materials. If you're teaching and you are dictated, if you're dictated to teach certain kind of materials, try to smuggle at least 10% from supplementary materials that you can access to in Busy Teacher. It's a really good website online. And add it to this list. If you are trying to inspire students, you're not the kind of teacher who just does what he's told to do. You want to motivate, inspire, and push and struggle to go against the rules and code of conduct that the administration dictates on you. Try to smuggle at least 10% supplementary materials to help them speak. Engage them using technology. Nowadays, technology is part of the alphabet of language teaching. You cannot teach English without using basic technology like a laptop, a speaker, a kind of Zoom meeting, whatever that is. You need to enroll them in role plays. إذا ما تعرف شنو role plays لازم تبحث عنها. إنه تخلي الطلبة يتقلدون أدوار معينة لأن هذا حيمكنهم وبيها relevance لحياتهم الاجتماعية. The last point that I want to highlight here, women tend to speak less than men. I promise you, I've gone through hundreds of meetings and hundreds of classes, and this is just because of society. So it's a socio-cultural issue. Women tend in classrooms to speak less than men. Why? Men, they're always trying to dominate the meeting. They try to speak more. They have more linguistic self-confidence, not general self-confidence, but there are, of course, exceptions out there. So keep that in mind. That is very important. You need to promote for equal amount of engagement by women and men, equal level. Role plays, do conversations and presentations, have them engage in public fairs where they present something, and all of that is based on pushing them, trying to motivate them, have them listen to podcasts. But remember the 4 important elements. Fluency, focus on fluency, focus on accuracy, focus on appropriacy of the topic that you present, and focus on the authenticity اللي هي مصداقية المواد اللي انت دا تقدمها. يعني أنا ما أجي أقدم لهم مادة هو دا يطلب ماكدونالدز، لا، روح الحج زبالة مثلا وشون تطلب عصير أو تروح جولة بالمتنبي. You have to make it suitable to the socio-cultural context of learners. أنت خياط مو مدرس، يعني لازم تفصل الدرس وفق احتياجات الطلبة. فهذه يسمونها assessment. بالمناسبة الطلاب ما يعرف شو يريد. الطالب يعني students know what they want, but they don't know what they need. We provide them what they need. We listen to them, but we not necessarily are, we don't need to abide by what they say. They're just like customers. They don't know what they need until you present it to them. So that is more important. Last point, interactional grammar and structural grammar. Interactional grammar يعني القواعد اللي التفاعلية اللي لها علاقة بالحياة الاجتماعية اللي هي speaking grammar. اكو structural grammar. هذه structural grammar لها علاقة بالwritten. المشكلة وين؟ المجتمع العربي دا يدرس القواعد الكتابية على افتراض انه هي القواعد الحديثية او التفاعلية يعني interaction. فأنا من أجي أدرس present perfect أو passive voice إذا هذه تستخدم بالكتابة وأدرسها على أساس أنه للمحادثة، هذه كارثة، لأن عادة conversation هي informal. أغلب الأحيان إذا تريد تكون friendly with people you have to go informal. هذه النقطة حتى ما أطول عليكم لأن الدرس صار طويل. حبيت يعني إذا عندكم استفسارات، إذا أنت مدرس لغة إنجليزية فهذا كلش حيفيدك أنه تخلي هذولي بنظر الاعتبار وتركز عليهم، لأن هذول النقاط الأربعة اللي ذكرتهم هم أساس نجاحك كتدريسي. والمصدرين هذولي تروحون هذا الأسبوع تشتريهم وتبدي تقرأ بيهم ولا تظل عجوزي. ولازم لازم لازم تسأل نفسك السؤال: Am I maintaining my job as a teacher or am I progressing in my job as a teacher? If you are maintaining your job, you need to change that to progressing. ربي يحفظكم. معكم مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.